We go. We're on.
Yeah. I'm Jake Schriner.
Bob Nelson. We're doing this. I'm Tracey White.
And I'm his brother Morey White.
Can we do 20 years behind yourself?
I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie. This is the Compass Conversation podcast, such as it is. Welcome, friends. Welcome. We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
In this corner.
That's mine. Oh, we back?
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, we're back. Schmack.
Cheers, y'all.
Yes, friends. All right.
My favorite non-alcoholic beverage, water.
Agua. Agua fresca.
Water.
Oh my.
Where's your dew? I got a dew because I figured you'd have a dew.
Chocolate milk, bro.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Hey, that's some good stuff right there, man. Love that.
Yeah, if you see
What?
one of these, it's chocolate milk.
Not coffee.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, welcome to the podcast. Let's begin our conversation. I'm going to start over here with Jake Schriner to my right. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, we're glad you're doing well.
Wow. No, I'm doing really good. Had a nice weekend. Work wasn't too terrible today. So my boss has been going through some pretty serious health stuff the last few years. He's had a couple neck surgeries. He's got something called MSA, which is a rare form of Parkinson's. There's no cure. There's no 5K run for any, there's nothing, no treatments for it. So he's deteriorating pretty quickly. It's really unfortunate to watch and see, but he hasn't been at work for the last 4 weeks. So last Wednesday, Harper and I brought over dinner for him and his wife and got to see him, which was really good. So yeah, I got to just talk with him for a few hours and just see how he's doing and everything. So so that was nice. So I'm going to try and start doing that a little more regularly. Because, I went from seeing this guy every day for 6+ years to, not seeing him at all, and he's not doing well. So, so that was Wednesday, and then folks are back in town this upcoming weekend. But other than that, everything in between is just routine,
Routine.
Yeah.
It's keeping it steady.
Yeah.
Steady as she goes. That's good.
Trying to.
All right, man. Well, I'm glad you're here. As always, there goes something. I'll think of it later. I was going to mention to you, but I can't remember right now. To your right, we're going around to the right, Bob Nelson. How are you, sir? Welcome, Bob. Welcome, buddy.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody applause. Welcome to our circus.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm really sore. Because on Saturday, a friend of mine invited me over to the, what do they call it? The Ninja Nation gym. It's one of the American Ninja Warrior style thing, and AKA a playground for adults. How'd you do? Tons of kids. I said I was sore. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I have not hurt like this from a workout. Awesome. Ever. But it's good. The really important part for me on that is I've got some tennis elbow issues that I'm doing some PT for, and it didn't exacerbate that and actually I kind of made it feel better because I think I was putting some use into it. So, but the really tall, jumpy ramp. Things. I was able to get up the middle one, and I was able to touch the top of the tall one. So,
nice.
For having never done that, I feel pretty good.
That's cool. Right?
Nice.
And the way they've got it set up on there, you get no running start on it. I mean, it's like you just got but it was a great blast. I had a lot of fun. So yeah, it was a good distraction from a lot of things that were going on.
So we're going to see you on American Ninja Warrior?
No.
Oh,
Just don't have the balance. Actually, I'm not sure I got a good story either. One of the coaches that was there, he had been on the American Ninja Warrior, sort of. He got into the tryouts before the televised part. I can't remember where he got wet, but he fell out pretty quick. He said, the reason I was able to get in at all is because my dog had died that year, and I was running for him. And
They like the story.
And they like the story, and that's why we were talking about it. It's like, well, you can't use that too often. What do you do with all those dogs?
why are you killing your dog?
Yeah, that was kind of neat. It was a lot of fun, especially hanging out. He was a friend that I play softball with, and he and I have a really good conversation. So
That's cool. I don't know. I'd like to see an American Ninja Warrior representing.
Compass
Got a Compass Church shirt, yeah.
One of
to go and cheer him on.
Yeah,
One of the reasons why I'm so sore is because I have no upper body strength.
that's where the training comes in.
Yep.
All right. Well, okay, man. Well, good to have you here tonight, of course.
Always
as
good to be here.
All right, Tracey White.
Hello.
How are you, sir? We missed you.
I'm here. Tired. We had a drill weekend, of course, this weekend. Sorry, I missed church.
We are too.
Yeah, and got back to work and pedal to the metal. And so I haven't seen the service from yesterday.
Oh, it's
Where you talked about beating your
beating her wife.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm interested to hear about that. Why it's wrong.
What's hilarious about that is that nothing even kind of like that was spoken.
It's all boring. So as our weekends go, our squadron is one of the larger ones in the wing. We got a lot of people, and so there's a lot of different dynamics. A lot of people are doing really great things, and some people are struggling through some other things. And one of our senior NCOs had to leave because his daughter, 2 years old, had some sort of episode where she just went limp and barely breathing. This is the second time it's happened. It happened like a year ago. He had to do CPR on her. They never figured out what was wrong.
Wow.
But it happened again, and his wife had to deal with that. But with that, I want everybody here and the 8 million people that watch this video to pray for Kylie Pedigo.
Yeah.
I know dropping names and everything, but that little girl needs some prayers and some healing. So, but mainly that they figure out what's wrong, so they can figure out how to treat and that it doesn't happen again.
Yep.
Other than that, everything is going well.
Good. I'm glad you're back, as always.
Glad to be back.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. Moving to your right, it just keeps going right. It's like east and west. You never start going west after you go east. You can start going south if you go north, but you're always going east if you keep. Anyway, go east, young man. Morey White. You got a long intro.
I got it. Yeah, it was kind of a weird intro.
I'm sorry, we're out of time.
That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Sorry, well, I did, yeah.
That part.
Well, somebody's just trying to call me tonight. Have no idea who.
I knew it was your turn.
It must be my turn.
How are you, sir?
I am all right. It was a good weekend. Got to spend some time with Sean and Ashley. That was a blast. Guys, wherever you went, I don't know. We got to do it again. That was fun. We probably spent.
Well, after church, went to
I
lunch.
think we spent about an hour and a half in Culver's.
Oh, you went to Culver's. Okay, that's
there
what's
for a
up.
while.
Good choice.
So, and
Right
then
along the way.
Julie and I have been house hunting. So we've been looking for something that better provides for Taylor and Grayson.
Yeah, good.
Something that kind of gives them their own space. We put a bid in, so we're waiting to hear.
Maybe that's what.
Maybe that's what trying to call you.
You might want to
Get out of here.
No, probably not. But I'm telling you, the market's crazy right now.
It is crazy.
But
Glad we're in where we are in at the moment.
I wish I could stay right where I'm at. But interesting thing, 2 other options for selling our house came up over the weekend too. So that gives us 3 solid options to choose from, and
Nice. Options are nice.
one of them costs us less money, so that's a good one.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
good weekend. How
Well,
about you?
awesome.
It's good.
Well,
Everybody
to
selling
my
their
right.
houses so they can afford to pay for gas.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
did
right.
see a thing that said that they are closing on their loan for gas this weekend, so they're really happy.
Nice.
Oh boy, that really is the case.
No, even with the 50 cents off from King Supers, it still costs Joy for our small little CRV over like $45.
Ooh,
wow.
So yeah.
Good grief.
We won't talk about the Raptors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is too dark a path for a conversation to go on right now.
Am I
I'm
right?
just grateful for work from home. Johnny!
Thank you so much. It's gonna get a little applause every now and then.
We have like a huge crowd.
Hey, I might
Like the whole studio.
whistles and cheers and throwing flowers. Oh man.
Nice. We're not bullfighting.
Nobody beat in the corner today. I'm happy to announce.
What about the playground thing?
Didn't get to go out on the playground.
Uh-oh.
Peed in the sensory room on the trampoline.
Well then.
So was not able to avoid that this day at the school. But oh my goodness, what can I talk about this? I am tired. You know, we're always tired on Monday. That's sort of the running gag. Sort of, I really am kind of today. Mostly a lot of mental stuff because I'm in this process of applying for this music position at the school, and turns out that when you apply at Aurora Public Schools, you let's see, you have to bring a shrubbery. You have to find from the eye of a newt from time off a mountainside. There's a quest involved. I mean, it's been. Anyway, yeah. So that's been kind of weird. There are three basic. I won't go into it too much, but it's been a little draining, and then misinformation back and forth, and then I had my an application kind of returned to me today while I was at school. Saying, oh, because you're going into a different thing, you need to apply as somebody who's not an inside, what do you call it? When you hire from within, what is that?
Internal.
Yeah, something like that.
Network internal.
Yeah. So that's how I did it from the beginning, and it was like, wow, that's pretty simple. So because it's a true teacher role, they want me to apply as somebody who doesn't work there. So
Okay.
So having to start some of that over, and then my transcripts and all that kind of stuff, and getting through. Oh, whoever came up with this is brilliant. This is the kind of thing you want to do when you find a gap in the market, and you have the ability to meet a need that just tons of people need, and it's not even glamorous. It used to be such a pain to get your college transcripts sent to your job as an employment thing. Well, now it's Parchment. It's parchment.com, no sponsor.
But if you'd like to be, live at compass.com. Compassdenver.com.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's right. So Parchment is a site where you just go in, you create an account, you enter your basic credentials, and it will officially send an official transcript from your college. Now, in old days, it used
not
to
a
be
fake one.
not an unofficial one. There are two different kinds. The official kind actually comes with a seal of the university.
Yeah.
You can have a copy of your own transcript that's not the official one.
So they do all the legwork for you, getting with the college.
Yep, and also it's, we're in the 21st century, so it's emailed as a, secured PDF. But, my school transcript, because it happened back in 1926. It's on little stone things, and they have to scan the stones to be able to.
It's on microfiche.
Anyway, it's on microfiche.
They have to fax it somewhere.
Well, anyhow, so all that's been a little bit of a pain getting things in, and there's applying to the school, there's applying to the Colorado Department of Education, which is a separate thing. So I've got this $50 something FBI fingerprinting thing tomorrow. Not 50 something. Plus the application fees and all the stuff that goes in. So anyway, it's been a little bit stressful. And and then I have to have an interview with a bunch of people, like 6 or 7 people. And I think that's happening Saturday. Okay. So it's going to adjust set up for Thursday camp.
So.
Yeah, we'll figure this out. But anyway, so I'm a little loopy, a little tired. Been back and forth on this thing. What's fun is that there are a lot of people at school kind of pulling for me in this. But I feel like support your local sheriff.
Yeah,
Jake Schriner, the old movie.
I like that one.
It's not what I was really shooting for. I've just been passing through. That's how I feel sometimes. I'm just passing through. But anyway, the thing is, once that's all done, once that interview is
This world is not my home. I'm just passing through.
Every now and then they just pull that stuff out, just from the roots.
It's old hymns.
But after this week, I have spring break next week, and so that may affect my, I'm going to feel a lot better because one way or another, this is all going to be done this week. And I really feel like after all this prayer and planning that I'm supposed to follow through with this, whether I get it or not, it's still cool. I'm finding the way.
Like we talked about, clarity.
Clarity, it gives great clarity one way or the other for sure.
Yeah, we're all rooting for you.
Well, thanks, man. I told that to
Go,
Morey.
Johnny.
I said, Morey, is there anything I need to know about the interview process? So she said, well, she gave me a couple of tips. I went, okay, well, I'm pulling for me. She laughed. She went, well, we're pulling for you too.
The star format. Everybody wants the star format.
Well,
Situation or task, action and result.
Oh.
situation, task, action, or result. Everybody knows that, Morey.
Hello.
I know it now. I didn't before he said that, but I did.
But you were doing the thing like you do. I was like,
Gotta be on it.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. Well, I'm glad you're here.
Or fake it till you make it.
there you go. That's what I did.
Yeah.
STAR, fake it too. Wait a minute. Okay.
Oh no.
Well, hey, let's talk about the weekend. And I'm sorry, like I said, it's always a big gaping hole when you're out there. It's not right. But it was great having the people in the middle of the snow, and it felt kind of Colorado-y. Is that a word? It felt very Colorado-y Sunday, because I'm standing there, even as I'm speaking, I can see through the window and then out through that door and see the snow just falling. We had the fake fireplace on the screen there.
He had the
cool.
fire in the snow.
It was in the snow this time, right?
Yeah.
I thought by Colorado you meant like everybody showed up in a Subaru or something.
No, everybody showed up shorts and
Shorts,
snow.
yeah.
Shorts and a long sleeve shirt.
Shorts and a hoodie.
Shorts and a hoodie coming in out of the snow.
Oh goodness.
I wear that often.
Yeah. What about you guys? There were hilarious moments for sure, but what are your thoughts about Sunday?
It was a lot of fun watching because I was out, waiting for greeting. Nobody came in. Oh, and I take that back. Sean and Ashley came in while I was out there. You guys came in too. So yeah.
We got there before the start of the service.
Yeah. So, anyway, during the service at Harper and the Meadow, or just
little hands
Nice.
You had a great turn for that.
Oh yeah. I was referring to that as our toddler mosh pit during our worship time, music time. It
Great.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Very fun and joyful and all of that too.
I should have brought my bass.
Yeah, anytime. You
Who
can
plays
play
at home?
Nobody.
Oh.
You won't let me sit on it, so.
It's not true.
Well, it is true.
Not true.
You won't let me fly with
learn that,
the
Bob.
One of these days. Yeah.
No, just guitar. I was doing a lot of a lot of rhythm-y stuff happening.
Yeah.
But I was going to say the thumbnail for Sunday's service features Meadow, but from the back, right? So her face is, but her hair, she's in the middle of a twirl and her hair is out to here.
Question.
It's pretty fun.
Did somebody do a claim against the stock footage?
Of course they did.
Really?
They always do.
The same ones?
Yes. Well, what happened a couple of weeks ago were two different entities, two different groups out there. Both were trying to claim ownership of this stock footage that doesn't belong to anybody but the person who made it available to everybody. And that's what happened in the middle of our service last time. Two
Gotcha.
at once.
Okay,
And
that's what crashed
made it kind of crash a little bit.
So did that happen again?
Well, the ones now, it's some kind of Arabic language thing. And all they're doing is they put a fake claim of ownership on various videos so that it's flagged in the algorithm in the context of your video. That's how I know exactly what thing they're talking about. It shows a 1 second, minute, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's only during the coffee thing, which doesn't belong to them at all. So they put that in there so that, not that it'll get taken down, is so that they can have a little link underneath our video that says, see more videos by da-da-da-da.
Oh.
And it just drives traffic to their page with all the other videos they've stolen.
Can you edit that out?
Well, the way I edit it out is because every single Sunday I have the same, I just copy and paste the exact same thing every time, every Sunday now. As before, this footage is stock video from, I'll put the link to where it's from, and this is does not owned by the person claiming ownership. And almost every week, within a few hours, so-and-so has released the claim on your video. Right.
So what about how it interrupted the stream?
Well, that was because there were two.
There were two, and that's the only thing I can think of, other than just we had a glitch that day. But it was that day that two other groups. Now the other one probably didn't exist anymore. It just seemed kind of sketchy. But also History Channel at one point was claiming this video.
Wow.
Same kind of deal. And they also would release it because they weren't doing the right thing. This is a very strange conversation. But anyway, yeah, it is every week.
It's the weird
I don't
world we live
care.
in.
If I went and we recorded a cup and we did that, we put it on there, somebody would say, oh, that's our video. Because that happened to Michael. He had his own thing he originally did and someone tried to claim ownership.
Wow.
What?
You know what was really funny is back when we were doing Breaking Silence, the band, we recorded here in the studio our own album and made a video and posted it on our YouTube channel, and it was copyright locked. And I was like, well, that's us.
That's us. We own that.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So I haven't figured out just yet a way to actually report those people, because what happens is you submit a dispute against their copyright claim, and then, anyway, so they see that and they take it down before Facebook gets too involved in it. So that's kind of what's been happening, I think. So it's no big deal. It takes about half a minute to dispute it, and while it's being disputed, they remove the link. So nobody sees that.
Do me a favor after we're done. Bring that back up again. I have an idea. So.
Wait. You got that look in your eye. That crazy look in your eye.
He does have that crazy look in his eye.
Anyway, so back to the service. But yes, that is what happened there. So.
Toddler mosh pit.
Toddler mosh pit was great. People showing up, even though it was all snowy. It was great.
So what were our new guardrails for this week? Anyone?
The second one is let the romance continue, or something like that.
That's the idea.
I
Yeah.
know what it is, but I
Nurture.
Oh yeah, nurture your marriage.
No.
Oh wait, no, nurture your way. Nurture the romance. There we go. Nurture the romance.
Oh, it was romance.
Nurture romance.
Yeah.
And we did go back to the Song of Solomon. Sorry you missed that.
Really? Oh, I missed it.
Song of Solomon.
Talking about romance, my parents, love you, are from a different generation where there's some things you didn't talk about. You didn't talk about finances, and you didn't talk about romance. So, I'm going to encourage everybody with children out there, to our 8 million subscribers, that there's at least 20 million viewers, so 8 million subscribers, that I'm going to the lake, that to talk to your kids about romance.
The Lake of Fire.
Oh! Liar, like a fire. All right,
Well, that's all we got for tonight.
That's all we have for tonight. Romance like a fire. See you next week.
So nurture the romance.
Yeah.
All right.
I just realized why
Talk about your ice cream
rom-coms
cones.
exist.
Sorry, go ahead.
Why rom-coms exist. Because somebody didn't teach their kid how to do romance appropriately. And they went, I'm going to make this experience into a movie.
That's true. Now, the idea behind some of that too, I mean, again, chime in with what you remember on this too. I mean, we actually started with where we left off before with, work on yourself, work on your spouse, and kind of spend a few minutes talking about the learning to serve one another. And then, again, it's not about you, and how husbands should love their wives as they love themselves, and the same way they love their own bodies. And when you love your wife, you are showing love, even that you love yourself, because the two have become one. So we spent a little bit of time there. So, I mean, it's easy to just say, oh, we just talked about romance. Well, we did, but I mean, there was more to it than that.
Yeah.
But when we did get into romance stuff, yeah, we were in Song of Songs for a few minutes. But also the Proverbs passage of take pleasure in the life of your youth. That could have just been, like with food, we could eat food with no flavor and still get the nourishment, but God fortunately has given us senses to smell and to enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's how he wants our marriages to be. So there's some joy wrapped up in that. But yeah, so Song of Songs, we talked about his, he was referring to his wife, and the very first thing was what?
Her neck was
Your neck.
Tower of Ivory.
Ivory tower.
Yeah.
And then your eyes are like the pools.
The
of
pools of
Heshbon.
Heshbon, yeah.
Not the fish pool.
Yeah, most likely not the fish. Although a lot of translations, the older translations, they actually say fish pool. But it's a little bit more accurate just to say pools.
Can you imagine saying to Julie, "Oh, you have such fish pooly eyes"?
Well, imagine saying you have a tower nose, right?
Julie, your eyes are like the turtle pond. I'm going to try that one tonight.
There are a couple
Let's
of
not go.
Well, if I don't
Because I go
respond,
black
you know
eye.
exactly what.
It's gonna come in all beat up on there.
Didn't work, guys.
Well, you got the idea of the details that are being described there about her that he knew, but also, even though some of those phrases are funny to us, just like we were saying a couple of weeks ago, or last week, I should say, there is some poetry in them, and if you really dive in to see what he's describing, you go, oh, I would have said that differently, but that's a beautiful thing you're describing.
Sure.
Right.
And he went to the effort of describing in such a way. And so there's something about that that's good. We just want to say, you should look pretty tonight, honey.
Yeah.
Thanks. Should look pretty tonight, honey. Yeah, right. Thanks.
Right.
It's when you start getting specific, wow, I love the way your hair looks tonight.
Yeah.
That is so nice when you wear that. You know what? Your eyes look beautiful tonight. They're reminding me of whatever.
Right.
And you can really get stupid when you say these kinds of things if you're not real thoughtful about it. But the fact that he knew the details about her reminds all of us that we need to know the details about our spouse. That's one of the ways that we invest in them. What do they love? We talked about the snow book I gave to my wife years ago.
Right, yeah.
That nobody else would have known. That's what she would have been delighted by. But I did because I knew her. I knew something about her. And so we talked about that. Yeah, what's their favorite color? What are the things they really love? Where do they like to go? What are their dreams? What are their hopes? We should know our spouses better than anybody else, right? So that was kind of the gist of some of that.
Cool. So I'm going to share a story. When I proposed to Joy, a couple weeks before, we'd been to a car show of all things, and she had no interest in it. So she disappeared into an antique mall, and I found her there, and she was looking at the rings, and she did not have marriage on the mind at all, and we were still just dating. And she was pointing out this one ring that had a cluster of rubies on it, and it was. We later got it assessed, appraised. Yeah, and it's not really an expensive ring. It's vintage, but it's nothing. $80 ring, something like that. I know I spent more on it than that. There's antique people. But anyway, so so she was just pointing it out, but I remembered.
Yeah.
And that was the key. So when I proposed to her, I used that for the engagement ring, and she was totally floored by it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
Yep. But that reminds me too about the creative spirit behind this thing too, and how I've just known so many guys. They're so creative in their problem solving. So they have an issue at work, and they just boom. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to figure this out. We're going to work it out, and they use all this creative energy, right, to solve that problem or that thing that isn't working at their house, and they do all this stuff, or maybe their own personal hobby. And so I just wanted to flip that around and say, channel that. What'd you say? Oh,
Satisfactory.
There you go. Channel that creative energy into coming up with ways to not only be romantic with your spouse. And by the way, they do call me Dr. Love. Who? Just kidding. With who are these people?
Oh, Right.
It just sounds funny when I'm talking about this to myself, because I'm not that, but I've realized the importance of it, and I started channeling some of my own creative energy to try and make, stuff that she'd be delighted by, but also makes it fun for me too.
Yeah.
Right. So thinking through adventures, we talked a little bit about adventures, but anyway, that's all I'm saying. Ligas get lazy. They were really creative when they were in the dating stage before marriage, and then they stopped. And that's a huge mistake.
I don't know. Kathy makes it a little too easy sometimes. She will put things in the Amazon shopping cart. All I have to do is check the Amazon shopping cart. Oh, that's what she wants. Okay, let's go ahead.
That's funny. But anyway, it doesn't have to be expensive, as I was saying also. So.
Right. But it is kind of neat, like Julie is not a flowers person.
Mhm.
She isn't. But if you bring her a flower, she's going to love it.
She likes the flower.
She loves it. It'll go in the trash after, a little bit. Or it'll sit out on the counter and it'll wilt. And it'll, because she's not a flower person.
Right, sure.
But it's just a thought. She enjoys.
Well, it's like the thought of my friend that I shared. He gave his wife the drill. Oh my goodness.
Well,
talk about a misread.
I did get Julie a sander, and she was excited.
See, that's different. That's
was
reading, and you think about the occasion, and you're also thinking about what do they really want.
She wanted that sander.
He was really bad at that.
I got Colette a spin bike like 3 or 4 years ago.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And she really wanted one. She used to be big into spin classes and stuff, and I wanted one for at the house, and it was one you can hook up to the iPad and everything.
Oh,
So it was super cool. And I got it for her for Christmas. And then about 2 hours before I gave it to her, I realized I'm a husband buying my wife a piece of Yeah, it's like the whole, like, honey, I got your treadmill, I didn't have that thought, because I knew that's like really what you want, so like that's,
Gotta know them. That's
exactly, but I was horrified by that thought. I was like,
that's true, it got me gone.
It's too late, I can't go back now.
She loved it, though, didn't she?
Absolutely loved it, yeah. She's used it about 5 times, but absolutely.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I still got it. Now it's the,
Closing?
well, I think it'd be easier, because our master bedroom's actually pretty good size. She's like, I think I'd be more, enticed to use it if it were like upstairs and more accessible. It's in the basement right now. So I would have to lug it up 2 floors.
That's
And
okay.
it's like, all right, honey,
You can do it.
I'm just gonna throw my back out trying to do it or something.
Call Tracy.
Yeah. I'll come over.
Yeah, the hint gift is the kind of idea there. That's what I was saying a minute ago. I don't know if you guys heard me, but it's like when they buy you for Christmas, you open up, what is it? It's a gut be gone.
Oh,
thanks.
thank you.
What gut? What gut are you talking about?
That's pretty funny.
Oh my soul. But we have 2 more anyway, 2 more gargoyles we're going to talk about. Next week I thought I was going to wrap it up. I just looked at the time. I thought, I probably could rush through these, but what's the point of that? Let's just chew on it next week.
Give them the time they deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
You think you'll get through both of them?
No longer promise anything. We'll get to what we need to get.
That's right.
Well. All right. Those are salami
The Lord
swords. So
saith,
just cut it
thou
off the right
shalt
spot.
not rush.
Thou shalt not rush. Take your time. Patience is a virtue. Sorry I missed the lesson. I will catch up with it.
I think you'll enjoy it. I don't always say it that way, but it's pretty funny. Because Leona was with the kids, and I don't force her to do this. She just likes to know, so we're on the same page. What I was speaking on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So usually we come home and eat lunch and throw it up on TV or whatever, just so she gets an idea of what's going on.
She really wants to know if you told any embarrassing stories.
Hey, it also keeps my hands clean.
There you go.
And she also likes some of those stories I was telling Sunday. But anyway, I don't know, sorry about that for
Pretty good.
Where are we in our time? We're just kind of knocking.
Yeah, some time left.
Okay.
On kind of a sort of serious note, from the scriptures, there's a couple of weeks it's come up that you leave your father and mother and join with your wife to become one flesh. And I like how you describe that. It's not that you're becoming just like a couple there for just the purposes of sex. It's not about that. It's about becoming, two people living for kind of the same life in essence. And
when you hurt, I hurt, and vice versa.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So it is for richer and poor, sickness and health, and you're there for the entire thing.
Yeah.
But the thing that came to my mind when you brought up the one flesh thing is a pragmatic reason that we need to tell people not to save themselves for marriage when it comes to sex. When you have sex outside of marriage, you have that bonding right there, and it's very problematic because then you kind of miss red flags, and that we're there all the time, and your friends are warning you about, but you're like, oh no, they're great people, right?
Right.
It's and it's a hard thing to get away from these days. Oh, what was that? Speaking of spit, you gotcha. Yeah, it's a hard thing to get away from because our culture tells us to do that. But there's a very good reason. There are a lot of good reasons to wait. And babies ain't just one of them.
Right, exactly. Well, and Scripture does speak to this pretty clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as always, a lot of grace.
A lot of grace,
right?
yeah.
We all know
Exactly.
that we've all failed on one level or another in relationship to this stuff. So just as a clarity for anybody who's joining us and don't really know that about us, there are things we need to call out as sin, and God calls them sin. But it doesn't mean that we're like,
We're not
mad at everybody about it, right?
There's no hate in calling somebody out for doing
exactly.
something wrong. It's actually in love that we do that. Whenever we encourage someone to correct their path, it's out of love.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody was lying to us, we would want to say, we don't want you lying. No, we all want to not lie. Is that right? We want to be truthful.
I really appreciate you, but I don't appreciate the stabbing right now.
The other day I promised somebody that I would pray for some people that I know and I'm like, Lord, help them understand, soften their hearts, so that they can see the effect they're having. Oh, and by the way, Lord, take the log out of my eye.
Right. That's a really good point. And Jesus does tell us, stop looking at the splinter, take a look at your own log.
Right.
And I kind of am hating now that I didn't go to that passage when we were talking about work on yourself more than your spouse, because that is actually an excellent application of that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, every time he gets no matter where I turn, he's got some good words.
You can always backtrack a little next Sunday.
That's true. That's what I've been doing that.
There you go.
During your review of the
during the reviews.
Oh yeah.
I've got to. If you guys are all just gonna smile,
Amen. Smile and nod.
and that's where we'll stand up and go.
Right.
And all three of our viewers.
Oh, all right. Well, I think we're kind of winding this thing down a little bit now. Was there anything else from the weekend, Sunday in particular, that stood out to you guys? It was just, I just felt like it was a good vibe all on Sunday.
It was very family,
Yeah.
and that was awesome.
Yeah, a lot of laughing, and Leona and I were leading that worshipy time, and you can see it on our faces when we were kind of smiling at the kids and stuff. And I just think that community, it's so genuine. We can't help ourselves. We're chuckling as we're going. And I just thought it was a very nice, communicates a very nice vibe.
Because Julie and I sat on y'all's side.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for keeping that.
Yeah, it kept everything.
They sat behind me so I didn't feel lonely on my half of the room. Everybody else sits on.
But it didn't quite work like that. There was a lot of people there. So it was great.
Absolutely.
Well, we hope it just keeps going. And Easter's not that far away. And then we'll plow into the summer.
It's like 6 weeks away.
Yeah, something like that.
Crazy.
I know, it's wild.
40 days from last Wednesday.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Lent starts.
Ash Wednesday. Well, anyway, all right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else from you all, I just want to mention one last thing. As we've been talking about love and romance and everything, we love to quote a verse of scripture in our podcast every week. Who's going to do it this time?
I've been having my share. It's up for
It's
somebody.
up to somebody else. Who's it going to be?
Morey, it's been
I'll come back to it.
All right.
This is the new J316.
Ah.
So, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life. That's John 3:16. Read it. Read it again.
There you go.
Pray about it.
There you go.
And then pass it on to somebody else.
Oh, pass it on. Nice. I like that. Very nicely done.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. Or which we back to this camera again?
Yeah, we're actually flashing card low now. so-
Okay. It's card low time. Well, hey, we meet somewhere in the world every week, but always online. And you can find us on Facebook at Compass Church Colorado. You can discover more at compassdenver.com. And we would love to have you as our guest this Sunday. All right, guys, final words. Morey.
Peace, y'all.
Love you guys. Love everyone out there.
Card low, likewise. This has been great.
Grace and peace to you. That's all we have for tonight. And we are out. Because we are card low. Card low. Card low. Emergency.
I kind of want to keep it going and see how long we go. I think it does that at 2 minutes.